Hey everyone, Kyle once again. Welcome back to another review. But this is another redo because once the middle of doing my review and my internet cut out, so I had to redo it again. I hate when I does that, you know. So why I'm filming from this angle? Because doing another favorite film of mine, which is a film is based on. Which is based on a series of books that I've read before this film came out. When I first heard about the film, I got all the books and I read them. Really good series. And I would say it's a really beautifully. I would say it's one of the best beautifully animated film I've ever seen, in my opinion. And I enjoy this film a lot. When I first saw the trailers and I saw this film, I really absolutely loved it, and that's that film, which is right there. Legend of the Guardians, The Owls of Ga Hoole. Got the big poster right there, and that's a film that I absolutely really do love, enjoy, you know. And so, Legend of the Guardians, The Owls of Ga Hoole, or as the books was called, just The Owls of Ga Hoole. From the studio that brought you Happy Feet. So right there. The film came out September 24, 2010. And I really absolutely love this film. I don't know what I can say. I would say it's also my favorite. It's also my favorite film of the year 2010. When I first saw it in theaters, saw it the first time, I loved it. Saw it the second time, and I saw it 5 times. And I said before, you know, that when I enjoy a film that much, I like to see it as many times as I can see, you know. And I saw it 5 times, and I love a lot of people. I said it before. It's my money. I can spend how I want it, you know. People will say that it's really not necessary to see a film that many times, but I don't care. It's the way I like to see a film that I absolutely do enjoy, you know. So like I said, this is a very, I would say, it's a very beautifully animated film because how the way the film has been made, you know. And this was directed by Zack Snyder. This is directed by Zack Snyder, who directed Man of Steel, 300, Watchmen, Sucker Punch, and Dawn of the Dead. And this is his first animated film as well, you know, and when the film came out, it got a mixed reception, sadly, you know. It has like 50% Rotten Tomatoes, you know. It has you know, which I think this is a low bull, you know. I think it could be very much more higher, you know. But at least it has a 7.0 on IMDb. I think that's pretty good enough, you know. And some of the when the film came out, it opened up at number 2 behind the Wall Street Money Never Sleeps. That's the sequel to the original film Wall Street, you know. But it opened up at number 2, you know, and sadly it only made like 55 million in the U.S. You know, it didn't do that much in the U.S. But total worldwide, including overseas, made 140 million worldwide on a budget of 80 million, you know. And I'm sort of disappointed how the film made. I expected the film to make much more better than that, considering, you know, if it's from the studio that made Happy Feet, you know, because Happy Feet was a big success, you know. So, but you know, but otherwise about it is what it is, you know. But also I'm putting on what critics say. It says that Legend of the Guardians' dark tone and dazzling visuals are to be admired, even though they're ultimately let down by a story that never lives up to its full potential. Well, I really admit, like, as the visuals of the animation is really well beautifully animated, you know, like I said. And the dark tone, like I said, like a dark tone, yeah, I do agree, because it really has a lot of dark elements in it, you know. Well, the books, I read the books, and it is dark enough as it is, but in the film, you know, which I will explain, you know. And then there was talks of a possible sequel, which I really want to. This is a film I really want to see a sequel to. You know, I really want to see a sequel to this. You know, but there's talks, like, because this person Zared Banyan was said in an interview with Encore. He's this person's like Animal Logic CEO. You know, said that there hasn't been anything specific around the second Legend of the Guardians to the stage. We have discussions with Warner Brothers across a range of projects. We have projects in development with them, as well as projects in development outside of Warner Brothers. Legend lines up alongside what the projects we have in terms what's the most attractive commercial proposition to do next. And it said that that same person also said that sequel will come behind several other films, you know, we'll be producing already producing with Warner Brothers. So I don't know if there's gonna, I don't know what I can say. But I just really want to see a sequel to this, you know. But I don't think there isn't gonna be, though. But it says that the two actors from the film, the voices, that's Jim Sturgess and Ryan Kwanten, said that they will reprise the roles of Soren and Clud if their sequel was ever in production. Yeah, but I don't know, son. That I just assume, because I really do love this film, and I really want to see a sequel to this. I hope one day they do make a sequel. Same thing with Monsters vs. Aliens. I want to see a sequel to that, you know. But they said there isn't going to be one, which is sad. And I really enjoy both these films, and I really want to see a sequel, you know. But what do I know, you know? They make a lot of films that sometimes I don't care for, you know. A lot of times they just are making sequels, you know. But you know. But like I said, Zack Snyder directed this, and to be honest, I would say this is Zack Snyder's best film, in my opinion. I do enjoy Dawn of the Dead, you know. I enjoy that film a lot. Watchmen, don't care for that much. 300, I thought it was okay, because I like Gerard Butler, you know. Sucker Punch, I did not like. And Man of Steel, I did not like at all, you know. Which you know, which is on one of my worst lists of 2013. I know a lot of people will be pissed, you know, because you like this film better than Man of Steel. Oh, you know, it's my opinion, you know. It's the people get pissed at me for saying that, you know. I'm saying it's my opinion. It's my opinion. It's just an opinion, you know. Because I would say that I do like this film gets, you know, mixed, you know, but Man still gets the praise. But for Zack Snyder's first animated film, he did really well done job for this film, you know. But that's saying this is my opinion, you know. So getting into the film, it starts off like pretty much in the book. Starts with a young barn owl by the name of Storm, which is him right there. He lives with his family in the tidal forest, you know, and he's the second child, you know. His older brother Clud and his younger sister Eglantine. He's the one who's been a dreamer, you know, that about telling stories about the Guardians, you know, with his younger sister, you know, with Eglantine telling him about the stories about his hero Elias of Kill who defeated Metal Beak, you know. But of course, his older brother, you know, Clud, he's not like that at all, you know. He thinks he's tired of hearing the stories. He doesn't want to hear it, you know. And then during the night their father Noctis, voiced by Hugo Weaving, takes them out to their first branching, you know. That Soren does better at branching than his brother, you know, and Claude doesn't like that. He's always big that his brother's better than him, you know. But as the parents leave, you know, Soren wants to do some more branching. So as they do, you know, that Claude pushes Soren and leads them to both falling off the tree down to the ground, you know. They get attacked by a Tasmanian devil, and then two owls come in, you know, and they kidnap both of them, take them to their lair, you know. And while they're doing that, there's other owls who's been taking other owls from different places. And then one owl by the name of Grimble, also voiced by Hugo Weaving, is taking the smaller owl, an elf owl by the name of Geoffery, which Soren and Geoffery become friends, you know, like in the book, you know. They take also all the two owls that took Clud and Soren, though also the characters from the book, Jut and Jet. They take them to Saint Agiles, which in the book was called Saint Aggies, you know. Where they meet Queen Nyra, which is a white barn owl, which is voiced by Helen Mirren. Tell them, you know, that they divide owls up to like the ones like the barn, whether there's barn owls, they become soldiers, you know, and the others will be pickers, you know. Soren and Geoffery, they said to let them go though, so they both get put in as pickers, you know. And while the other owls and them were taken to this place where they sleep under the full moon, Geoffery tells Soren they must not fall asleep under the full moon, otherwise they'll get moon blinked. Moon blink is like when, she explains that when owl sleeps under the full moon, they fall, become in this trance, like just blank with a blank face like this, almost acting like a zombie, almost, you know, a mindless zombie, you know, in a trance, you know. But they make it through the night without falling asleep, and while they see others, once all the others have been moon blinked, you know, and while that Clud, who's with other owls, training, you know, with Nyra, you know, to be better Titos, you know, and Geoffery and Soren are at the Pelotorium, they're picking other owls' pellets while they're searching for this piece of metal, you know, called a fleck, or what it is. It's like a magic metal fleck, you know, where what it does to an owl, it does something to their gizzard, which is in the book, you know. They see gizzard all the time in the books, you know, and it's like right here, you know, like I guess where the soul is, you know, I guess, I don't know. But if anyone knows who read the books and heard in the film, you know, probably know what a gizzard is. But it affects an owl in an uncomfortable way, you know, it drains their energy. I think, you know. But Soren takes a piece, you know, and then it's affecting him, you know, and puts it like another where the other metal flecks are, and there's a bat that takes it away because bats are not affected by the metal, you know. Grimble, he notices the two aren't, you know, they're not moon blinked, you know, and he takes them to his little study area, and he's gonna teach them how to fly, and he says that he's not a pure one, but he's been forced to work with them because they took away his family, so if any harm. So he promises he'll work for them if there's no harm that happens to them, you know. So Grimble's has been doing their work ever since. So he's going to teach both of them how to fly. So as they start learning how to fly, Naira is training more with the Clud and the others. Clud has been like the best out of all of them, and they see Grimble with the others, and Grimble tells the two of them to fly, but he gets into a fight with Naira, but Clud betrays them and helps Naira out, but Grimble and Naira they fall off the cliff, and they're still fighting, and Grimble tells him go tell the Guardians, go tell the Guardians, and Naira kills him. But the other two, Soren and Geoffery, they escape, and they're happy, like they're flying, and as they're traveling along, they get to they go to the ground, and they meet Digger, a burrowing owl. They ask her to get to the Sea of Hulemere, but Twilight, Digger knows another gray owl, the great gray owl by the name of Twilight, his friend. He knows the way, and Twilight comes in. He's bringing home their dinner, which is a blind snake by the name of Mrs. P, who is a Soren's nest maid. He tells her what happened, and they all agreed to fly to the Sea of Hulemere, to the way of the Guardians. So as they're flying, Twilight has this little harp, but it's called a lute, like Digger, he doesn't like his singing, it's like sings that, but also sometimes making a poem out of it as well, or like Twilight doesn't like his jokes, So as they're flying, they get attacked by some crows that steal Twilight's lute, but Mrs. P is inside of it, But they get it back, and they get to this gate, that leads to the sea, that where the sea is, and they meet up with this that they see this Akinda, who tells them that they're says there's one day there was this band, because in the books they were called the band, Soren is the leader, Gylfie is the navigator, and Digger is the tracker, and Twilight is the warrior. In the books, as they were called the band. So they fly out to the sea, and it's like hard, like an ice storm, and Twilight Digger's wings froze, and he falls down as Soren flies down to get him, and they see the two snow owls, that is the king and queen of Ga Hoole, They got Digger, and they take him to Ga Hoole, which is also the great tree, where the whole bunch of other owls are, and so they get to Ga Hoole, and Soren is discussing with the council, he explains what the Pure One's plan is, and among the council, you have this other great gray owl, Alamir, voiced by Sam Neill. Sam Neill as Alamir, and there's also the small screech owl is voiced by Geoffrey Rush, What is also I like about it is the voice casting, Jim Sturgess as Soren, like I said, Hugo Weaving has two voices as Noctis as Soren's father, and also Grimble. David Wenham as Digger. Emily Barclay as Gylfie. Anthony LaPaglia as Twilight. Helen Mirren as Naira. Bryan Kwanten as Clud. Bryan Kwanten, he was also in that horror film Dead Silence. Also, as Geoffrey Rush as Easelrib, and Sam Neill as Alamir. And Joel Edgerton as Metalbeak. So Ezerib believes in Soren's story, and the king orders Alamir to take two of his owls with him to go investigate Saint Agiles, what the pure ones are up to. And as they're doing, another owl that's in training by the name of Otilissa tells him about give him an insight about Ga Hoole and Soren, how Soren kind of likes Otilissa, and it was also I believe in the book it wasn't Otilissa that Soren likes, it was another owl, So and as they're it goes where they're showing they're going to do so they're showing different stuff that's in the tree, and that's where that song by Owl City To the Sky, which I really do enjoy that song. And I also got the soundtrack right here, because I like a lot of the songs that's in this film, I absolutely do enjoy the soundtrack, especially the song that's To the Sky by Owl City that's playing during the scenes where they're showing different things of in Ga Hoole, they're showing the blacksmith, where Owl makes the helmets and the metal claws, or Soren is training, for training combat, And like I said, how beautifully animated the film is. Like there's a scene where Soren and Gylfi they let these lanterns, they float up, and when it's at nighttime you see all these other lanterns glow, That's what I like about it, how the animation looks in this film. It's really looks really beautiful in this film, That's why I was saying that I consider it one of the most beautiful animation films I've ever seen. How Zack Snyder used the animation, And also, speaking of the soundtrack, there is also one song I wish that was in this that I wish was in this film, and that was the song Kings and Queens by 30 Seconds to Mars. That was both in the teaser and official trailer, which I really do love that song, and that was when I first heard that song in the trailers. I just really enjoy that song, We were the kings and queens, That I wish that song that was only one problem. I wish that song was in this film, because I think it would work wonderful for this film, And really, that song, I also heard that song in two other movie trailers. I first heard that song in Hugo, and I also heard that song in the third How to Train Your Dragon 2 trailer. Just check out my video when I did my trailer reaction for How to Train Your Dragon 2. I mentioned that song was in that trailer, which I was still surprised I heard that song. They used that song in that trailer, It makes me really looking forward to seeing How to Train Your Dragon 2 even more, because that song, like I did with Legend of the Guardians, But I just wish that song was in this film, So and also, like I said, the film has a lot of has darkness to add to this film, dark elements in it, which I really did like, Like for instance, next to the shows after that it shows Clud, with the metal beak and the pure ones, that he kidnapped his sister Eglantine, because like Naira said, we need as much as strong types as we need, because the young ones are the future, So he goes and kidnaps his sister, and he goes and also he moon blinks her, makes her fall asleep under the moon, and he makes her get into that trance, I was like, oh wow, how that's that darkness of what he did to his sister. I was like, oh shit, And that's what I like about how it does both light and dark, elements into it, especially more of the dark tone that's in this film, And I really do love it, That's how I really do enjoy it. So the next like Soren's reading his books about the Ice Claws, which is his favorite story. How Easel Rib, well, which if you've seen the film, you know who Easel Rib is. I didn't mean to say that, but how Liza Kill defeated Metalbeak, in the Battle of the Ice Claws, and Easel Rib was looking and said, "Oh, what you reading there?" And it's the Battle of the Ice Claws, and so it looks. And it's different that how he was told, because he said he was told there was a big big victory, and he says, like, he's reading, it's like, oh, it's different than I imagined, it was a big victory, and but then it feels like, and Isvarib says it feels like hell, how to tell you what it feels like, how it says it, it's like hell. And Geoffrey Rush, he was good as Isvarib. Geoffrey Rush, who played Captain Barbossa in the Pirates of the Caribbean films, So he gives him another test. They all fly out in this rainstorm, and he says, he says you need to feel it with your gizzard, and he sees a Soren flies into this twister, it was a twister, and he says, fly inside, and there's we get another wonderfully beautiful animated scene right there, But it was also in the trailer, how Soren is flying, and you see all the raindrops, slowly, and the lightning flash in the background, There's all the song playing as it's going, Really well. And beautifully animated scene right there, and like I said, it's also using slow-mo because that's what Zack Snyder did in all of his films, using the slow-mo, and I like the slow-mo was used well because I can understand what's going on, he's like slowly, moving, and he's going upside down, but then he panics, and he's falling down, but the Isvarib corrects him, makes him fly properly. Then while that Alamir and his two owls, they get to St. Agiles, he tells them that they say there's two owls down on the ground, and he tells them to take them out, but then they're decoys, and the Alamir is working with them, that. And then he said, oh, the other bats open up the metal, where all the metal they collected, and use them, and they kill the owls, So that while Isvarib is writing down his journal, he tells them that you got it in that twister on purpose, to say that you trusted your head rather than your gizzard, and that's when you fail, and he stamps it on his book, and that's when the sword recognizes that's the mark of Liza Kill, And he knows that Liza Kill is Isvarib, that was his hero, And Isvarib's like, well, it's hard, it's imagined to see that your hero is real, not just a myth, And he tells them that how was I saying? You think the battle was not heroic, it wasn't even glorious, He tells them this is how it looks like when you actually fought in battle, Because he also has one of his missing talons as well. He gets all scarred up, He has a lot of scars from fighting, It's like, this is what's doing what's right, and again, And then there's trouble because the gong rang, and then Alamir brings two with the moon blinked owls. One of them is Soren's sister Eglantine, And saying how Alamir explained that they were ambushed, outnumbered, to tell them that their pure ones are doing, tells the king and queen, to arms, going to battle, So they all prepare, to go to battle as they fly to St. Agiles. Well, that Soren is he wants to go, but Isvarib tells him, he says if you stay here, tend to your sister and do some real good. But what do I know? I'm just tired old Screech. So he's just with his sister, and he tells him, I'd trade places if I were you, tells him that the story is all true, you know. And then Eglantine, she snaps out of the trance, you know. Tells him that Clud was there, that he did this to her, and he gave her to the owl that came here, you know. And Soren gets to now realize that Alamir is a traitor, and the Guardians are being lured into a trap. So as the Guardians get to St. Agiles, they take out a few owls. Then there's a small group of moon-blinked owls that have been placed there, you know. And then they get betrayed by Alamir, and they all use the bats use to open up the metal, the containers that has all the metal, you know, which makes all the Guardians unable to move, because that's what that stuff does. Does them with their gizzard, it also prevents them from moving, you know. So as the band flies over there, and Soren is wearing one of the claws, one of the metal claws. And as they get there, Soren gets an idea to take. There's like this lamp where it has like oil that's left in it, you know. To fly into this there's this part of the forest that's on fire, you know, and if you hear that's my dog barking. So all the rest of the owls go up to fend up the bats that we're gonna go out there and attack them. And Digger wants Twilight to sing one of his poems, you know, and Twilight's like, "Into battle we," I forget how the line goes, you know. It's like, and it's like something. It was like, "Unless we're going to die," you know. So they found the bats, and then Iris getting angry. It's like, "You said you bring all the Guardians," and Alamir's like, "They're not Guardians." And Mental Beak's like, "Still, I don't think we could trust you anymore, Alamir." And he's like, "No. You promised I would be king of the tree," and he gets double-crossed, and Metal Beak sends the bats and kills Alamir, and Metal Beak's like, "You should know, Alamir, there's only room for one king." So that Soren is Soren he grabs that the part of the lamp, I think it was called, has like the oil in it still, and he flies into this forest the part of the forest is on fire, you know. And another well animated scene where he slowly flies through the fires and some trees are falling down, you know. And there's another song that that's playing during that scene. I've only heard that song in another film that was played during the ending of Stephen King's The Mist. You know, you know. So it lights on fire. He dives down towards where the metal stuff are, you know. But he's also in the field where, you know, where the magic of the flex is, you know. And he goes and throws it, and where the machinery is, and slow motion the slow-mo explosion, you know. You know, and then they're closing those containers shut. So all the Guardians are back on their feet, and they're ready for battle with the pure ones. More slow-mo stuff, which really works well, you know. I mean, and also like how like the weapons that the Guardians have, like they have like metal claws, and like one of them has like knives for claws, you know. Some hardcore weapons right there, you know, like claws, and there's also they have knives as well, you know. And also so as the battle's going on, you know, what I said about that, long time ago, I want to mention this, there was a funny remark that, Matt, a.k.a. Rambo for Life, he did a review a long time ago of Legend of the Guardians, and when he mentioned about the Guardians' weapons, he said that They have weapons. He said they have weapons that would scare Freddy Krueger, you know. Yeah, so I thought that was a real funny a funny remark that he said, you know. So the guy also did a good review of the film as well, you know. And like I said, very funny review, good review, but also funny lines that he said about the film. Well, good review for that from Rambaraf for Life, you know. So, but anyway, as the battle's going on, Soren sees Clud, and Clud fights him, you know. He trying to kill him, you know, but Soren tries to tell him that the pure ones are monsters, but he does not listen, you know, because he thinks he's still living in his dreams. So they fight. They're still fighting, and they get on this tree where Clud, you know, he's hanging upside down, you know, asking his brother to help him, but Soren is trying to help him pull him up, but Clud tries one last attempt to kill him, but then the branch snaps, and he falls down, comes engulfed in flames. Presumably he's dead. That he died, you know. And you see that Soren, he's really angry, you know. He has that mean look on his face, you know. Because, you know, for you know, trying to revenge what they did to his brother, you know. And all that's going on, Easelrib has been fighting Metalbeak, you know, but he's been getting his butt kicked, you know, also by him and Naira, you know. They're tossing him around, you know. And just about when he's about to kill him, Soren comes in with his flaming stick, you know. Tells you know, Metalbeak, I'm not letting you hurt one more soul, you know. And he's like, oh, you're not letting me. Oh, what a waste of a strong young Taito, you know. So he's still fighting, you know, swinging that flaming stick, but then he drops it, and they dive down, and just about when he's about to grab it, you know, Metalbeak's about to gut him, but then Metalbeak, he falls, gets impaled by the stick, you know. And Naira sees that Soren killed him, and she and the rest of the pure ones, they retreat. And also, you never saw what Metalbeak's face really looked like. You never saw his mask is on the ground, you know. And Easelrib, you know, saying, Soren, you did what was right, you know. And like Soren has that gaze look, you know, thinking of what he did, you know. He actually saying, I think it was like going through his mind, it's like I killed the legendary Metalbeak, you know. I don't know if he didn't say that, but I'm just thinking what's going on in his mind, you know, ways that look on his face, you know. So that everybody, you know, all the rest of the Moonblinked Owls are rescued, you know, and all there's this big celebration that Soren and his group, you know, they've been made guardians, you know. They've become guardians of Guardians of Ga Hoole, and his parents are there, you know. Everybody's celebrating, and Soren's telling the rest of the story, you know. And he's saying that Naira and the rest of the pure ones, they got away, and saying that Clud, his body was never found, but you see Clud, you know, next to Metalbeak's helmet, you know, and his eyes are glowing red, you know, because in the book, Clud, there was no Metalbeak. That Clud, he was Metalbeak in the books, you know. He was Metalbeak. He wore the mask, you know. I guess that's why they want to see a sequel, because that's when if they made a sequel, then that's when Clud, he will become the next Metalbeak. That's what was in the story in the book, because he originally was Metalbeak, because there was no other Metalbeak. It was just him, and he was and also in the book, Naira, she was the mate to Clud, you know. That's how it was in the books, but I wish they would make a sequel. Otherwise, they would do that, though. Hopefully. But there's been no talks of sequel since, which is a big shame, you know, because I really want to see a sequel. So Soren's been telling that story to the other young owls, and them and Easelrib have been flying. There's Easelrib saying there's another storm coming, another chock full of baggy wrinkles, you know, and as the film ends, and the film ends, you know, like how the end credits go, you know, has like this it's like this they like use I forget how this thing is called, you know, like you use like these things and you put it like in behind a screen where it's like lights you see but shadows, you know, like shadow shapes, you know. I forget how the end credits are called, you know. What that kind of stuff is called, you know. I'm just searching here. I forget though. If anyone knows how during the end credits how that is called, you know, I forget how it was though. So during the end credits, then they have the song "To the Sky" played again once again by Owl City, you know. And and that's it, and like, I don't know more I could say. Like I said, I really do enjoy this film. I really love this film. I would say it's one of the most beautiful animated films I've ever seen. You know, how the animation looked. You know, Zack Snyder for the first time for doing an animated film, he really did a good job. You know, I know there's some differences from the story though, but I don't mind it, you know, because they always do differences from books all the time though. So, the voice cast really good job, you know, Jim Sturgess, Emily Barclay, David Wenham, Sam Neill, Hugo Weaving, Helen Mirren, Joel Edgerton, you know, and Geoffery Rush. All the rest of the cast, they do a really good job voice casting, you know. Great animation, you know. I enjoy the soundtrack, you know, and the score. The slow mo was used well. It's too bad the film they didn't make as big money as I thought it would, you know. That's a shame. But oh, by the way, how the I think it was called Shadow Puppets. I think how it was, you know. I think for during the end credits, you know how it was. Like I said, it's like using puppets and in the shadows during a movie like this, you know. I guess the best way I call it. Cause I guess I call it Shadow Puppets, but I think there's no name for it. But I don't know. But I just hope one day they'll make a sequel to this, because this is a film that's worth seeing a sequel for, especially for me, you know. I enjoy the books. I enjoy pretty much. I don't see anything problems with it, you know, except for that one. I wish they used the 30 Seconds to Mars song "Kings and Queens" that was in the trailers and put it in this film. I think that was the only problem I have, you know. But animation really beautiful. I don't know more I could say about it. Like Manny Day Rosa from NBC TV, calling it breathtaking, perfect for the whole family. I would say the animation is pretty breathtaking, you know, especially for it's very beautifully well made, you know. I'm just I don't want, like I said, I guess I got nothing else to say. It's on for 97 minutes. Goes by very fast at a fast pace, you know. I just hope Zack Snyder, if you're doing a sequel, please return to do directing for a sequel, because I really do enjoy, especially for your first animated film, you do really splendid job. So yeah, that's what I have to say. So. I also like especially the darkness that's put in the elements that's in the film as well. Characters, you know, I know it's a film. It's about owls. What other films? I'm not probably saying it's a dumb idea because it's about owls. You know, Well, that's how it was in the books. That's why, as I would say, it's not that dumb, you know. So if anyone hasn't seen it, please check it out if you haven't seen it. So that's my pretty much my big review for Legend of the Guardians, the Owls of Ga Hoole. Really love this film. I always will love this, and I hope one day they will make a sequel to this, because the animation was really beautiful. And I think it's I consider, in my opinion, one of the most beautiful anime films I've ever seen. You know, especially a lot of the scenes I mentioned. You know. So that's Legend of the Guardians. Thanks for watching. Take care, and stay tuned for the next review. And see you later.